Oh, you caught me as I was just about to inject myself with some heroin. Apologies, I'm running a little bit late for anybody who's actually watching live stream. Evening, Thomas. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So it's probably not the best idea that I have a drink because I'm actually still recovering from my hangover that was caused on Saturday evening. Started off pleasant enough, had a few people round. Then someone who we thought might not show up showed up, which was good, glad they did. Then my friend, because apparently wasn't drunk enough, forced me to down a few gin and lemonades. And then next thing I know, someone brings out the Mad Dog 2020. And yeah, the rest is history. And I still feel like absolute arse. Speaking of which, not been solid for 2 days. Just putting it out there. But yeah, just fortified wines, or wines in general, just turned me into like the worst sort of drunk. It's a little bit chilly tonight. Yeah. I don't know, I get really sort of like loud, arrogant, obnoxious, and a bit angry when I'm that sort of drunk. That's why I don't mess around with stuff like dragon soup and things like that, just because I know it will not end well. And every time something bad has happened when I've been drinking, it's when wine gets thrown into the mix. So yeah, I've been feeling absolute shit for these past couple of days. I used to scoff at people who would talk about the 2 day, 3 day, 4 day hangover. And yeah, but it is what it is, and lessons learned. And I've still got friends, so that's the important thing. But yeah, so bit of an impromptu live stream. They're always impromptu. They're never prepared or scheduled far in advance. They're always on the day, and got to finish from work early today just because it's been a bit quiet, and because I'm off tomorrow, I thought, you know what, might have a couple of beers. It might make me feel even worse. But it is what it is. Hope everyone's doing okay, whether you're watching this on the live stream or the playback. Hope everyone's week started off well. God, what a weekend, eh? 20th anniversary of 9/11. Just, it's amazing now when that comes back in your mind, just how, is strange the right word? I don't know, it really came back. Do you know what I mean? But I can even remember, where I was when I found out. Just finished school, came home, dropped off at me, stopped off at me, my nan's house, grandma's house, and it was on telly, and yeah, just, you know how much of a tragedy it is, obviously, but revisiting it, man, and then of course what is now still happening afterwards. It's amazing, really, isn't it? But yeah, so that happened. Then of course would have to be on the same day, wouldn't it? That I have the worst fucking drinking session that I've had for God knows how long. It's the first time ever in about 10 or so years where I've woke up and I've vomited. I don't vomit when I'm hungover. But yeah, it wasn't good. Then I started feeling a little bit better towards the evening. Woke up this morning absolutely fine, and then I was just sat in work and I was like, oh my fucking God. But yeah, feeling a little bit better now. And also a bit of a dedication and a bit of memoriam, obviously, to those who were lost who lost people during 9/11. But yeah, today marks the 10th anniversary of DJ Medi's untimely death. 10 years. Again, I remember when I found out that he'd passed away. Just a massive shock. One of those, celebrity deaths where like, oh yeah, that's sad. But it's one of those ones that really got to me when it happened. And yeah, DJ Medi, of course, made famous with Ed Banger Records, merged the worlds of hip hop and electronic music together beautifully. Got me appreciating French hip hop as well. So yeah, been listening to Lucky Boy at Night today and some other remixes that he's done as well. And yeah, listening back to these songs, even though Signature. If Harry watches this, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Thomas Bangalter's edit of Signature. Just an absolute one of those songs where even though I sort of didn't really listen to electronic stuff for a little while, you have those periods where you just go from different sort of like styles of music, or you revisit different artists, genres, labels, you name it. But Signature was a song that sort of like Golden Brown by the Stranglers, which, by the way, the new Stranglers album, we're not even talking about the beer at the moment. The new Stranglers album is the best album that they've made since the Hugh Cornwell years. And it's not just a poignant one because, of course, we lost Dave Greenfield. But yeah, just a great, great album. And I think Baz is a great frontman. It's not like I've not enjoyed any Stranglers stuff since Hugh Cornwell. But this album, fantastic stuff. Really, really. What a swan song. Is that the right term? For Dave Greenfield. And just them as a band. And yeah, awesome stuff. And the last Hugh Cornwell album, Monster, was a great solo album. And yeah, but 10 years since we lost DJ Medi. I'm revisiting these sorts of songs and things like that and listening to old DJ sets and stuff. It's really got me tempted to treat myself to some decks and to get, because I've always wanted to get into turntablism, always fantasized about being a DJ. But like most projects that I get involved with, I was like, don't be stupid, Peter. You can't do that. You wouldn't be any good at that. But yeah, very tempted. Very, very tempted. That might be my Christmas present this year, to get myself some decks. Just like some, not even like CDJ ones, just electronic ones, laptop. And then I know that's not like proper DJing, but do you know what I mean? It's just, I'd love that. I'd love that. Making mixtapes and stuff. I don't think I'd ever be that good at being a DJ, but yeah, after revisiting some of my favourite moments from him when I got to meet him, and So-Me, the basically the designer at Ed Banger Records at the Warehouse Project. God, when was that? About 2011 something? No, it wouldn't be 2011, would it? I can't remember. When did I go to the Warehouse Project? Been a couple of times. But anyway. So yeah, dedicating this to the families and the individuals who unfortunately died on 9/11, and of course their families. Also to DJ Medi, and of course to the late great Dave Greenfield. So yeah, that's that out of the way. Anyway, so as the title suggests, we're having a look at two lagers from Newbarns, out of, is it pronounced Leith? Leith? Leith. Fantastic brewery. Been enjoying their beers for a little while. Decided to make a cheeky little order. Got myself a a new tote bag. It's a good quality tote bag as well. It's got some nice girth to it, so you can get a nice amount in there. So I think this will be my craft brewery tote bag Tuesday option. And got a message. So of course, because I don't have a tripod, fuck off, Rob. There we go. Lovely stuff. If only they had sweatshirts and glassware on the website, that'd be perfect. But yeah, made a cheeky little order because it was free delivery on orders over 25 quid. Sign me up. I've been meaning to pick up some Newbarns stuff. Picked up a couple of the... I did unboxings on Instagram. Picked up a couple of the Mosaic table beers. Tasting absolutely spot on. Picked up a can of this Simcoe Pale, 2 cans of the Simcoe Pale Ale, 2 cans of one of tonight's beers, the Oat Lager, and 2 cans of the Pilsner beer. And I drank the other cans on Saturday. So yeah, 2 lagers from Newbarns. Really established themselves as a great lager brewery. To the point where now Don Zoco is now brewing with them. And they were at the London Craft Beer Festival. I got to speak to them for a bit. They loved telling me how amused they were in one of my reviews when I enjoyed the beer so much. I said I would like to stick the can up my arse, which made me really realise, what the fuck are you saying during your beer reviews, Peter? But yeah, people don't come to my beer reviews to actually listen to a beer review. They come for everything that's got nothing to do with the beer review, and I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. Good evening, Brian. I'm drinking the Hana right now. Unfortunately, it was out of stock when I was placing my order. And James Orwell says, "Hi, Peter, you okay?" Yeah, not doing too bad, thank you. Feeling a tiny bit delicate after the weekend, but, you know, had a good time while it was happening. It just didn't really end well. Not that there was any fights or anything like that, but I fell over, really hurt my back. But then I've got a bruise on my tit, so God knows what happened there. And I was just very loud, obnoxious, and was saying some really stupid stuff very loudly at the early hours of the morning. But we've all been there. We've all been there. Just moral of the story, do not touch MD 2020 with a fucking barge pole. And I need to really stop swearing for no reason. So yeah, tonight's beers, we've got the Pilsner beer, 4.2%. This is brewed with Callista. Do like the Newbarns artwork. And then we've got a can of the Oat Lager Beer, 4.8%. And this is brewed with UK Admiral and UK Challenger. And of course, oats, as well as the usual stuff. Because I was at the stand at the London Craft Beer Festival, I'm going to be drinking them out of these tiny impractical glasses. Me too, bit hungover. No fear, just hungover. There you go. I can still function, but I might need to run to the toilet. So, yeah, big fan of Newbarns. No matter what style they've done, I've really enjoyed it. Their dry stout was really nice. That big dark beer, I think that's what they called it, their sort of like stronger stout, just absolutely fantastic. And the Mosaic table beer for me, aside from the likes of the Colonel, who are like the masters of that style in UK craft brewery terms, one of the best table beers ever. And I shall definitely be getting a mini keg of that for Christmas, which I regrettably passed one of those up last Christmas and got myself a nice beer. Don't get me wrong, but it was like a, what do they call those Austrian pancakes? It was a stout by Blackjack, which is really good, but considering I'd be the only person drinking that beer, there was a lot of that beer to get through. It wasn't high ABV, but it's just like really rich. A couple of cans would have been much better. Whole mini keg. Stroop Roffel, is that what it's called? I can't remember. But yeah, it was good, but I should have just got something easier, more palatable, like the table beer. Strong Dark Beer is stunning, really underrated brewery. They certainly are. They certainly are indeed. Understated brewery, I should say, not underrated. Well, they are underrated. Well, mind you, people really enjoy Newbarns, and that's good to see. So, we've got both beers in the glass. The one on the left is the Oat Lager. It's going to be hard to remember. For me, it will be anyway. And then on the right, we've got the Pilsner beer. So, to compare them both, evening, mate. Good evening, Craig. Hope you're doing well, buddy. So, beers in the glass then. And obviously, because it's got oats in, this is a little bit unfiltered, unpasteurised. And with that being a Pilsner, it's still got a little bit. It's not, exactly crystal clear, but looking exactly like you'd expect a Pilsner to look. We have the Pale Ale Simcoe on draft at my work at the moment. Oh, bet that's nice. I think I was already half cut when I had my first can of that, so I'm looking forward to reviewing the second can. Oh, bet that's nice on tap. So yeah, two really nice looking lagers. Obviously, with the shape of the glass and my pour, didn't really get much head on either one. But there's not much difference between them colour-wise. I'd say that's a little bit more lighter, whereas that's just got a little bit more of a bulky look to it. So we'll start off with the Oat Lager. And you're getting those oats, those rolled oats, straight away. There's like a wet, freshly cut grass sort of aroma with this. That oatiness gives it more of a sort of like a check-like graininess. It's obviously got that slight muskiness. There's an ever so slight fermented-like sweetness coming through. A little bit of a citrusy aroma as well. Good evening or afternoon, Vanessa. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. Oh, it smells really, really nice. That there's almost like a honey-like flavour coming through. Like that's is it called meadow honey? Hit the like button, please. Thank you, Vanessa, and please do, everyone. Like, subscribe, and lightly caress that bell. But even if you do that, I think YouTube's just absolutely knackered its notification system up. But, YouTube sort of like... I've been on this platform for over 10 years now. I think it was like a few years after it started, which was like 2006, so a few years after that. And just the functionality of this website has just gone boom! With all these new features that they've implemented over the years. They've taken the community aspect out of YouTube year by year, to the point now where if you're already an established celebrity and you start straight away, then you start up a YouTube channel, you're instantly going to get YouTube's backing because money, which you can't blame them, really, But I remember back in the day when you used to be able to do video responses, directly to the videos, and I think they must have got rid of that of clout chasers and people exploiting the YouTube algorithms and stuff and unrelated content linked to million view videos and stuff like that. But yeah, mental stuff, mental. I was going to say something else then, but I can't remember. But that's smelling absolutely top drawer. So now we'll have a quick sniff of the Pilsner. YouTube does not really care about us. They don't care about the creators who have built this platform. And they're trying to mimic Instagram with the shorts, etc. Yeah. Just all these social media platforms are just copying each other. I know now I will be able to qualify for the community tab, because I think it's anyone who's got 500 subscribers or more. Do I have 500 or do I have less than 500? Can't remember. I don't really keep counts of my subscriber count, because it's got to that point now where if people want to watch it, they watch it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to make a conceited effort to expand the channel, because I'm happy with, I've got regular people who come watching this, and that's good enough for me. And I do appreciate each and I keep spilling it on my hand. I do appreciate each and every one of you who, sit and watch me sit on the floor doing a live stream. This one's got a really nice, light, biscuity, bready aroma. It's got that sort of like, like Jif lemon juice in the squeezy bottle. And then it reminds you of, like, if you've got a schnitzel, the sort of like savoury breadcrumb, and then you've got the lemon squeezed on top. But yeah, definitely a lot lighter, as you would expect. It's not as grainy or oaty, obviously, because there's no oats. Just want to make sure they haven't brewed it with at least some oats. Yeah, it's definitely got that like slightly more faint aroma. You can tell already it might be a little bit more crisper. But it's exactly what you want from a Pilsner on the nose. I wonder if I record all my classroom discussions in math, would I still get paid if I'm in my classrooms when they're limited to me in the classroom? That sounds delicious. Bullman, good evening. Evening, mate. Really like that Oat Lager. Had far too much of that on tap lately. I don't blame you, sir. I think it was Bullman actually who let us know in the group about how YouTube are lowering the criteria for a few more options for creators. But yeah, it's just a simple smelling Pilsner. Very authentic. So, what should we start with? Should we start with the Pilsner because it's a lighter ABV? Yeah, 4.2%. We'll go with the Pilsner. So yeah, cheers, folks. It's light, it's crisp. It's got a really nice, gentle, biscuity malt profile. Don't know why I kept having spaces in between words. Oat lagers sound tasty, and I'm having an oatmeal tonight. Ooh. Can't beat some nice oatmeal. Yeah, this is... beers like this, they're hard to review because of how just simple and precise that they are. If you want a light-bodied, flavoursome Pilsner, you could do much worse than this. It's got a very German-style Pilsner feel to it. That Oat Lager was lovely on draft at the festivals. It certainly was. I think I had it. I think I had that. I had the that Hellers that they did. The one that's on tap at Brian's place. And then the dry stout. Then the big dark beer, which I need to get a can of that. That was gorgeous. I think there was only like 1 or 2 beers over those 3 days that I didn't have. But yeah. There's not much to say really, aside from the fact that this is just a very well brewed and authentic tasting Pilsner. We're going to have a big fair here at Oktoberfest. I'm hoping for some nice beers on top. all that walking, and I will need a damper for paint. But there you go. And that sounds like, yeah. Would that be sort of like an Oktoberfest style festival? Or just a festival that happens to have beer? Or big fur, I should say, not festival. But yeah, this is just going down ridiculously well. Everything that I want in a Pilsner. No dicking around with it. I mean, again, it's one of those things where I like breweries being creative and that sort of stuff. But I like it when breweries can just, and Newbarns pride themselves on these sorts of beers where they know what a good Pilsner should be like, and they've just made a good Pilsner. I mean, I'm sure they might have done like Pilsners with like American hops and that sort of thing, or like a hoppy Pilsner, or which is fine if you want that. But to me, there's just nothing better than just a well-crafted lager. And I think the UK breweries over these past 2 or 3 years have really sort of like excelled at that. I know people are going on about how the New England IPA and how they're those sorts of like, oh, we're doing the best, some of the best in the world. But I think the UK breweries are just brewing fantastic, flavoursome, traditional, authentic lagers. And this is no exception. So that's the Pilsner, just damn good German-style Pilsner for me. That little bit of citrusiness that I get a lot more from. See, that to me, and that could be wrong, but this is what I get. If you get like the more Czech-style Pilsner, it's a bit more grainy. Whereas if you get like a German-style Pilsner, the hops come out a little bit more, so you get a slight citrusy flavour. And that's exactly what I'm getting with this. I wouldn't necessarily use it as a keyword on an Untapped check-in as like citrusy. It's just got a subtle underlining citrus-like flavour. When I was in Scotland last week, I picked up a Drygate rosé wine flavoured lager. I think it might be awful. Ooh, that could be interesting. Hello, Thomas again. Evening. That's good stuff. Really good stuff. So, we'll move on to the Oat Lager. See what we get on the flavour. And yeah, those oats come out a lot more, and just make that. It's not as crisp or as light as the Pilsner. There's a little bit more of a rounded body to it. Yeah, you're definitely getting those oats. Loads in this. Good evening, even younger man, Goldrake. Wow. Just give me a moment. Oh, wow. That is absolutely lovely. It's a bit more earthy. It has that sort of like almost like a slight Keller like style, or a land beer or something like that. Maybe it's like a really nice combination of oats and wheat. Definitely a lot more bready. There's an ever so slight little sort of like spice on the back end, which reminds me of like a German rye bread or sourdough almost. No, not sourdough, don't say sourdough. But like a really hearty, fresh loaf from a German supermarket. It's one of the things I miss about going to Germany is buying fresh bread from the supermarket. I mean, I know there's obviously bakeries galore, but there's just something really satisfying about getting there a little bit early in the morning, doing your food shop, and getting it out of the bread thing, and then getting it sliced by the machine. German bread is lovely. And this would make a perfect Brotzeit sort of beer. Good evening, Jake. Hope you're doing well. Lateral inflation, hopefully good cause. Ah, nice one, Goldrake. That's a good, practical vocation, young man. So keep at it. Our bread's toasted. Oat bread's toasted with fresh butter, lightly added cinnamon. Oh God, that sounds lovely. There's a stand-up comedian who I've been watching a lot called William Montgomery, and he's got an obsession with. It's like, is it like cinnamon raisin bread or something like that? That you can get in like loaves. That to me just sounds fantastic. Thanks, Peter. Well, you stick at it. I'm sure you'll do absolutely great with it. What do you work as, if you don't mind? I work in a call centre, so I do the job that an 18-year-old person should do temporarily, but I've been there for 4 years now. To be honest, it's not the best paid job, but for what I do, you could do much worse and get paid even worse for doing more. Plus, there's good people there. Through this whole 18 months, I've been able to work consistently through the whole pandemic. There were times when I was like, do you know what, a couple of weeks of furlough wouldn't be too bad right now. But, my job's never been in jeopardy, so I'm very lucky. And yeah, it's just money in it, do you know what I mean? But it's a good job. And yeah, hopefully, because how do I talk about it without talking about the actual job itself? Because I don't know, I'm always a bit funny about when it comes to work stuff. Like I've got a shady past or something like that. But basically, we're going on to it's not the main stock market, but it's yeah, it's been a big sort of like change. Ironically, because we work in retail, ironically, this has been some of the best. It's been the best sort of like 2 years that we've had for a long time, apparently, and only a company like ours would be able to withstand the lockdown. But I don't work in a call centre. Ah, okay. Sorry, I thought he was talking to me then. I'm after not smoking. I'm on Sterling's at the moment. Pretty decent. Is that a Sterling Jewel? They have like a meaty taste, I find. We have a lot of hostels in my town, and many list their positions. Ah, okay. Hotels, hostels. This is why I usually have my other phone so I can read it here without getting dead close and still misreading comments. Oh, yeah, this is definitely a little bit more full-bodied, a little bit smoother. Dare I say, there is still a little bit of like crisp carbonation finishes almost a little bit dry. But yeah, imagine I could definitely go for a few pints of this. Yeah, it's a lot smoother than the Pilsner, as you would expect, considering it's brewed with oats. And you're getting the flavour of the oats as well, which is really nice. But then you're getting a nice dense breadiness also. That being said, it's not too heavy. Because a lot of the sort of like Keller style beers that I've had, they do get a little bit, a little bit heavy the more you drink them. But yeah, it's still got a lovely refreshment factor to it. Let's see, I'm not paying for the cigarettes, so I get given what my nana's got. Fair dues. I mean, let's face it, cigarettes are cigarettes, aren't they, really? I've been enjoying Carlton Greens, though. But a lady in work, I don't know how this conversation came about. We were talking about like how much we spend on cigarettes, and it's like a pack a day. Where I think we talked about this as well. Sometimes it's about £9 something, and then sometimes it's about 11 quid. So if you're buying a pack of cigs a day, that's like between 70 to 80 quid a week. So she was saying that she started doing roll-ups, and when I came into work one day, she wasn't in that day, but she'd left some stuff to be given to me. So she's got me a little rolling machine, and then some scummy teenagers on bikes. Which, by the way, karma, well and truly, well, probably, this is what I think's happened. So earlier this week, it's Monday. Last week there was something in the news about a guy had come off a bike on one of the underpasses, critical condition, and broke both of his ankles. And I mean, it's an awful thing to go through, but you shouldn't really be riding bikes on public pathways and in underpasses. So it's hard for me to have sympathy, especially with the fucking knobheads who, on a daily basis, are driving down like side streets, back alleys, on paths, on like the chavvy little dirt bikes, all dressed in black with knockoff North Face tracksuits. So if the narrative is what I think it is, well deserved. It's like one of those things, isn't it? Like, like someone was talking about this, about a specific situation that happened where someone stole a car, and then I think they stole a car. They were drink driving. They crashed and they died. And then, understandably, like the family members were like, "Oh, it's such a sad loss. He was, he's a lovely guy, so full of life." It's like he died in a stolen car while pissed. He's not a good person. I'm sorry. It's not a great loss under those circumstances. And that's why I'm like, dickhead, don't drive a bike on a public pathway on an underpass. Your own fault. I hate that when people have sympathy for idiots who do stupid things. Do you know what I mean? Jeremy Kyle's back. He's now on Talk Radio. I just thought you guys would like to know that. Let's see. Yeah, some chubby idiotic driver crashed outside my gaff the other day. Saves some activate. Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry, but you reap what you sow, you chubby little bastards. Oh, and there's a police helicopter now as well. Great. Let's see. Yeah, I have no sympathy for idiots. I really don't. I always want to see, like when you see like a tragedy of like someone who's died in the community, and then you get like the head teacher, and then local residents go, "Oh, they were such a lovely person, so full of life." I can't wait to see someone after someone's died in the community, and they go, "Well, he was a bit of a knobhead. Yeah, he's troubled." Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I sound like a Tory. I'll drive down your back alley, says Blue Nose. Don't show comments, Peter, you dickhead. You can drive down my back alley anytime. And I can't wait to traverse your country roads in November. Down the gravel path with Harry and Peter. Reviews. Hi, have you seen my new Insta story? Yes, boy, about town. You ain't half a shit stirrer, Goldrake. I love it. So true, Peter. I've ranted about this so much. It's like when a dealer gets stabbed to death and his mum's like, yeah, exactly. Oh my God, you wouldn't let her fly. Whilst he was driving stolen cars, selling crack, abusing women, etc. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it reviews Muhammad Akbar's Raleigh Chopper. Good evening, Steve. Hope you're doing well. I caught a bit of your stream yesterday. That's a good thing. If I don't watch someone's live stream, chances are I'll add it to my watch later playlist because it's great to have on in the background if you're doing stuff around the house. I love watching stuff like that over watching shit on telly. Although, been watching a really funny program called The Curse of Skinwalker Ranch. See, I get bored to tears over like paranormal programs like that. Ghost Hunters is funny just because of how cheesy and American it is. And that's not like me dissing America. I think an American will watch it and go, yeah, this is really American. It's that guy with like the really thick rimmed black glasses. But yeah, The Curse of Skinwalker Ranch. It's just really funny. It's like I created a meme for myself on that because there was an episode where there was like this pit that was like sort of like filled in with like tree branches and stuff like that. And they were like, well, 4 years ago, there was like it was filled with water, and then the water drained really quickly, and there's no explanation as to where the water's going. So, because it's one of those, and again, it sounds like I'm just ragging on America, but UK reality TV is much worse. It's that where like the program's like 40 minutes long, but there's about 5 ad breaks, and then it's like a few minutes of new content, and then it flashes back to earlier in the program. And there was like just this line in my head, which I started making. I'm making myself laugh really because I'm sad and lonely and bored, like a housewife. No disrespect to housewives, of course, but all I could like hear was like, "Where did the water go? Where did the water go?" Don't know what sort of accent that was supposed to be, but yeah, it was just really funny. They're like chasing water. It's an interesting pro. It's really funny. You should all watch it. Yeah, I don't really watch telly. The last series I watched was Code 404 with Stephen Graham and the guy Blacker from um, Line of Duty. He played as like that SWAT team officer who went off the rails and sort of like discovered the whole pedo ring thing. Well, didn't discover. I think he was like a victim of it. Sorry if you've not watched Line of Duty, by the way. That was good. But yeah, I don't really watch telly, so like 5 hour live streams are perfect for me because I can watch a bit as I'm doing stuff, and then because I've got the attention span of a squirrel, I can watch something else, come back to it. It's always good when I'm cooking. So yeah, Steve, really enjoyed what I've seen so far of Sunday's live stream. And we'll go back to it. Missed a few comments there. Pete, you've got to see my story. I certainly will, Go Drake. I can't find your channel, Go Drake. Reviews, it's on my Instagram story. Steve, it was a bit of a... Hark didn't think Scott would join, but pleasure chatting with him and Wanda, lovely people. I've not spoken to them enough. I think in passing on a live stream or like in the comments and on like various Facebook threads and stuff. But yeah, they are nice people. I meant shock, not hawk. Let's see. Peter, well, you need some voice acting classes, Joe. Now, I used to be really good at accents, and yeah, Everton just equalised 1-1 versus Burnley. Tell you what, my bets did not come in this weekend. Gutted. How the fuck was it? Tottenham Crystal Palace. Was it Crystal Palace? How the fuck did Tottenham get beat by Crystal Palace? Every other result on my accumulator came in, and there was about 8 games that I picked from the accumulator. And it was Tottenham that let me down. So, yeah. I think on Sky Bet, they were doing Calvert-Lewin to score 2-1. To me, that's just a pointless bet. It's like those bets that they promote where it's just evens. Like, who's gonna put money on that? And why are you like advertising it as if it's like an exclusive offer? Tell you what though, I used to have a lot of success with Sky Bets, sort of like where they'd have like free matches. Like a preset accumulator. I used to have really good success with those. But since the Prem started this season, I think the first weekend of the Prem, it came in. But since then, it just hasn't. And it's very annoying. I got Marlborough Reds the other day. I felt posh. I had Marlborough Reds once, but they were dead expensive. I've not had them in years. I've got a feeling that a lot of people stopped buying Marlborough Reds when cigarette packaging changed, because it was one of those things, like it was iconic to have a pack of Marlborough. Sort of like Camel. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think that definitely hurt companies like Marlborough because you don't have the white box, the red triangle, and the black font. Yeah, not that taking branding off cigarettes has made any difference. And it's like this whole menthol ban. It just makes no sense because you can get the insert cards. You could get those Sterling cigarellos that still have the crush ball. You can buy menthol filters. And some of what used to be menthol cigarettes still have a little bit of a menthol taste. I'm like, what have you done? You've not done anything. You've not stopped anyone. Just stupid. Absolutely stupid. The good, mate. Usually go for JPS greens or blue, though. Yeah, players green all the way. All the way, the lads. Players green all the way. I used to have Sovereign before I went to roll-ups. 2-1 Everton. I think we're going to do good this season. I think Rafa could be a godsend, really. Yeah, I was on those cigarettes Saturday. I think, obviously, when it comes to Derby Day, Liverpool fans, and rightly so, are going to shit stir. But yeah, I think Raf Benitez is just a really good manager, and he's just a likable person. He loves the city of Liverpool, and he didn't fucking abandon us like Ancelotti did. Who are Everton playing, mate? Burnley. Steve. Who scored? If Calvert-Lewin scores, I'm going to be annoyed because I was going to put a bet on that. It was 2-1 that Calvert-Lewin would just score. But I tell you what, folks, back to the beers. When it comes to lagers, Newbarns are just 3-1 Everton now. Fucking hell. Yeah, I went off football for a good long time. It was like the politics of it all. Like, I don't know, just like the way players just fall over. I mean, it's sad, but it's part of the game now, isn't it? You know, to be able to make the most of a tackle and to try and get a free kick. But it's just like how pathetic some footballers are. And also, it's always wound me up that new managers never get a chance. They just never get a chance. And it's like these people who invest into football are like, we want results now. And, you know, some teams, it's going to take 1, 2 or 3 years to sort of like establish a momentum and make progress. But now, if you're not getting the results that the board wants in an obscenely short amount of time, it's like, well, go somewhere else. And I hated that sort of stuff. I hate the way, I hate FIFA, I hate UEFA, all of that bullshit. It seems like Marcus Rashford is a tax dodger. Shock horror. I've got that information off a random Facebook post, so I've not looked into it, but would it surprise you? And then you've got like all of this unnecessary racism aimed at people for no reason. And it was just all of this stuff really put me off football for a long time. And yeah, but now I've got back into it a lot more. Don't get me wrong, you're not going to have the most in-depth conversation about football with me. But what I will say is, before PSG got really good, they were my team on FIFA, whatever year it was. And I saw promise in Paris Saint-Germain. And when I, as Pietro Diodotto, took over Venezia, they're playing really good now since my influence. And now my FIFA team is Jans Regensburg. So I need a job in football, obviously. Let's see. Especially Essex Hooligan Division. Let's see. I have a lot of football fans too. Carling drinking men who are coffin dodgers and gob off after 1 pint. No thanks. Yeah, there is that side of things. Especially Essex Hooligan Division. I wonder who that could be aimed at. I have to, what's the term? Rattle my brain tree? I can't remember, I don't know. That was a terrible attempt at a joke. And good evening, Adam. Hope you're doing well. Cavaloon is not playing, he's out for 3 weeks. Was that announced before? Like, before the game? Or because Sky Bet were doing 2-1 on Calvert-Lewin to score. That's cheeky. That my thing for Rashford, if you're taking on the government on an issue and you have the money, you make sure your tax return is airtight. Yeah, definitely. I thought you liked PSG as they also were berets. Like you, they do, and they've who's their official tailor, but really good suits. It's not who is it? It's not Dior. It's not Yves Saint Laurent. But my PSG boys are looking good. I'm a proud former manager of PSG. That was my Pedro Paolo days. I'm now Pietro Diodotto, the Italian stallion of football. For fuck's sake, Peter. Brian's just open a Weissen Merzen by Flutzinger. Happy Oktoberfest. Yeah, I need to get the Oktoberfest. Oh, no tripod. Yeah, I do like Oktoberfest beers. The Paulaner Oktoberfest beer is just great. I mean, my favourite is probably the Augustiner Oktoberfest, but I do realise that they do my favourite lager, they do my favourite Doppelbock, and they do my favourite Oktoberfest beer. There may be a slight bias towards Augustiner, but Paulaner's Oktoberfest beer is absolutely gorgeous. It's sort of like Europe's answer to America's pumpkin spiced tradition, even though the Oktoberfest is steeped in tradition. But you know what I mean? It always reminds me of like a good German sort of like Festbier Märzen style beer is like a really good American pumpkin spiced beer. I don't know, there's just something that connects to it's like my sort of like weird connection I have between English strong ales and German Doppelbocks. Completely different things, but to me, there's like a connection that I just can't ever eloquently talk about. You never mention Augustiner Pills. See, my favourite Pilsner was Bischofshof Pils out of Regensburg. But I find it really hard to get hold of Bischofshof beers. Although you can get them in like certain parts of Spain. That's the Oktoberfest beer. I haven't tried the Augustiner. They seem to be the last to arrive in the UK. Yeah, it's just like their Maximator Doppelbock. It comes in after like all the others have come in. But yeah, because I will be getting some Oktoberfest beers. I'll have to get hold of one if you can't get one. It's just like lager with a little bit more character, isn't it? And yeah, I hope we do get some good pumpkin spice beers because I had a Starbucks pumpkin spice Frappuccino a couple of weeks ago, and it was fucking beautiful. I know you're gonna get these, and I love coffee, but I hate these people who are like, well, Starbucks is a coffee. Well, that's not proper coffee. And you can't just call Starbucks proper coffee. I hate those sorts of people. I actually really like Starbucks. Some of the actual spilling beer everywhere. Some of the actual like coffee beans that you buy. Some really good stuff. What was the one that I got fairly recently? Well, not fairly recently. It was about 2-3 years ago now. It was like I can't remember what the blend was, but that was some of the nicest coffee I've had, and that was from Starbucks. I think my favourite coffee that I've had is from Girls Who Grind Coffee. And not just because they're called Girls Who Grind, and that's got nothing to do with it. I just like their whole sort of like ethos of like supporting female-owned like coffee pickers and that sort of stuff. Can't stand coffee hipsters. My friend is a proper coffee and natural wine snob. See, natural wine, that does get very annoying. Because I hate that term, natural wine. Isn't like isn't like most alcohol natural anyway. But yeah, I do admit I do like the coffee a lot, but you can get some really good instant coffees. Co-op do a really nice one. I just can't stand Nescafe Gold Blend. That's so expensive and it's so shit for what it is. But do you know what? Coffee's coffee. Even a bad coffee is coffee, and coffee is important. I did sort of like toy with the idea of doing like a coffee series on YouTube, but I'm not a skinny dweeb with dyed grey hair. Do you know what I mean? Plus, I know fuck all about coffee. I know fuck all about beer, really, but to deviate into coffee. But yeah, I think people who like go over the top about coffee are skinny hipsters. So Brian, you're completely right there. But a bad coffee is better than no coffee. Gonna pick up some Crosby coffee this week. Do you want some? If so, beans or ground? Oh, Adam. The thing is, I don't have any coffee filters because I've already got some coffee that I need to use. I've got a French press, but it's the cleaning afterwards that really does my tits in. But yeah, I might have to take you up on that offer. I mean, I do have a coffee grinder, but it's so much easier when it's ground. All Nescafe is shite except the Millicano. I can't spell it. Which one's that? I think I know that one. I tell you what is really bad coffee, and they always have it in work, is Asda's like home brand coffee. It's fucking awful. It's genuinely some of the worst coffee I've ever had. I take it back that bad coffee is better than no coffee. I'd much rather have no coffee than the coffee that they have in work. So I always have to take my own in. They've got like, what have I got now on the go at work? It's like a Kenko Americano. Does the job. It's got it always. I don't know what it is, but it gets really thick. That. What number filters? I have a pack of number 2. Millicano is the silver tin. I only drink coffee. If I do, it's better be a strong filter one. I do like a good strong coffee. I think I have number 4. I can't remember. Oh, mind you, now it's pointless because me. Oh no, I've got one of those. Are they called like TC90s or whatever? That you actually put over the cup and then you. I don't know. No, Mellow Birds is the worst coffee ever made. Mellow Birds, that sounds fucking awful. Joe, I've never really had camp coffee. I know I probably shouldn't, but I feel like having another beer. I feel like having another beer. I hate that drinks, but I'll always have iced coffee. Oh, I do love a good iced coffee. Love a good iced coffee. I have the strong strength and 2 sugars. Is that because you're exactly cancelled? No, Joe, I am actually a little bit. People have said I'm a bit camp, so you know. I mean, it's like I was saying in the group. One of my ex-girlfriends was German and Jewish, so I can make Jewish jokes. I've got a free pass. What's that pumpkin spice like then, Peter? I have a t-shirt saying Mellow Birds have my custard. Love my custard. That caught me off guard, Craig. Pumpkin spice is really nice. It's really, really nice. I've got a splash of milk and no sugar because I'm sweet. Oh, you certainly are, Adam. You certainly are, my friend. It's really nice. Towards the end, you get a little bit more of like the spice element, so there's a little bit of a kick. But yeah, if you like stuff like cinnamon, yeah, the Frappuccino hashtag PSL from Starbucks, who they claim that they're like the originators of the pumpkin spice coffee. I don't know if that's true or not. But I do like pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice anything. And it's pumpkin soup season. So I'm all about that. I have about 2 tablespoons of sugar in my iced coffee. Yeah, if I'm going to have an iced coffee, I have it a little bit more sweeter than I would a normal coffee. My coffee, usually first coffee of the day is a black coffee with no sugar. Just to get the day off right. My Greek uncle taught me that, and it works. And then for the rest of the day, coffee, a little bit of milk, 2 sugars, or the sweeteners. Because believe it or not, I'm trying to cut down on things. It's like Simon was saying that he is trying to cut out sugar as much as possible. You're drinking beer. It's full of fermented sugars. Off to grab one. I only had Starbucks once or twice. I do like Starbucks. I like cinnamon nutmeg, but hate pumpkin spice. I don't know. There's just something nice about it. Very basic, and I do fully own that. I like pumpkin spice scented candies. See, now that's interesting. I'm interested by that. This time of year as well, I like to get gingerbread candles, because there's something really nice about those sort of like biscuity, cakey smells. But yeah, pumpkin spice. I really want to make pumpkin soup now. Oh, I've got 80 pints brewing at the mint, so I'll be sorted. Fair do, Steve. What have you got on the go? And I can't do black coffee unless I have a bit of caramel syrup, sugar-free, to take the bitterness off. And Goldrake is in agreement with Brian. I think I'm going to have another beer. I'm going to crack open one of the Beer 52 ones because I don't think I'll be reviewing any of them. But before I open that, I'm going to conclude this by just saying that Newbarns make fantastic lager. They make other fantastic beer styles as well, but their lager, their Radler Shandy Radler, can't remember which way it goes. That was gorgeous. But yeah, Oat Lager and Pilsner. I would say out of the two, Oat Lager is the more flavoursome and robust of the two. But if you just wanted a nice, tasty sessioner, getting a runny nose again, or block nose, then I would go for the Pilsner beer. Both of them fantastic examples of the style, but I think the Oat Lager for me just edges it. And both fantastic, and yeah, highly recommended. And if you're in the UK, you get free delivery over £25. The one thing I would say about buying direct from Newbarns is not much to pick from on the website, and unfortunately, it's one of those situations where even if a beer's out of stock, you can still see it on the website. But I think they've had a new couple of beers on their web shop after I ordered my ones, so always worth checking them out. But yeah, big fan of Newbarns. Great people. I mean, tote bag for the win. Tote bags. And yeah, they've got some good t-shirts. They just need some glassware and sweatshirts, and then bang. And I would definitely order direct from them again. Let's see. It's a Wilco's IPA and a Bulldog Lager. Nice. I do really want to get into homebrewing. Just get really simple kits. Just for the experience. Hang on a minute. Sorry, Steve. Just clicked on your comment there. Open the Carnival one because it's fake. Yeah. Carnival, courtesy of Belgium. 40 pints each. Newbarns now available in odd bins. Okay, that's a name I've not heard for a while. I was never a coffee drinker until the last couple of years. The only thing I drink is espresso though. Okay. Is that like in the actual sort of like the small measure of espresso? My go-to why does my nose do this? My go-to coffee, I'm using Starbucks again, is just a nice black iced Americano. And if I'm feeling frisky, put an extra shot of espresso in there, please, because I want to shit myself on the train. I've been thinking about doing a live brewing session from start to finish. That'd be a really good idea, that, Steve. I think I've watched a couple of home brewers do that. I think it was when I'm not sure if anyone knows the home brewer Strat from America. He was quite a prolific sort of like a beer tuber, and he unfortunately passed away. So all of the people in the community came up with a recipe, and they all brewed it and did live brew days and live streams throughout the day. It was a great little event, that actually. Yeah, I've been closed loads of stores. Mossley Hill in South Liverpool is the only one I know in the northwest. Well, there you go. If you want to check out your odd bins, then you know where to go. So if you just bear with me 1 second, I'm going to get myself another beer, and we shall see where this goes. But if anybody's just here for the Newbarns, this is where the Newbarns stream ends. One of my favourite breweries at the moment, run by some awesome people. One of my highlights from the London Craft Beer Festival. And yeah, the lagers are great. Their Mosaic table beer is just beautiful. Probably my favourite table beer. And yeah, so check out Newbarns. And like I said, on the web shop, 25 quid, minimum spend, free delivery. You just might have to buy multiples of some beers because the range is a little bit small at the moment. I'm not drinking tonight on the Coke Zero Peach. Well, that disgusts me, so I'm going to get a beer. Should go for a Goldrake. Definitely. Right. So, as requested by Adam, we are going to crack open a Carnival beer from Beer 52, brewed in De Prof, for reasons unbeknownst to me. And I actually realised that I must have opened, because there were 2 Carnival beers, and I've already drank them. Probably did that on my drunken stupor on Saturday. So, we're having a look at Urban Shake, which is an oatmeal stout, 4.5% ABV. Store cold, drink responsible, be kind, you're a carnivalier. Yeah, brewed at De Prof. Don't know why. Don't know why you could just get cans direct from Carnival. But there's also a Twisted Wheel beer in there as well, which is odd. Also brewed at De Prof. Let's see. Only so much a young lad can afford. Completely agree. Easy enough, Goldrake. If I can do it, anyone can. Newbarns is just up the road from me. Can't wait for their tap room to finally open. That'll be good. That's definitely a trip I will have to make. And just been looking at that Wilco one. So cheap. What's the taste like? I've heard the Wilco stuff is really good. And you can sort of like tweak it as well. Without obviously going into the whole like grain home brewing sort of stuff. So I would say brand appropriate glassware, but this Carnival beer is something of an imposter because it's not actually brewed by Carnival. So Beer 52, for some reason, going back to just getting contract brewed beers when they've literally got access to breweries in the UK who they could get beers directly from. I don't get it. 40 pints for 12 quid. Can't go wrong with that. So, I mean, it looks alright, doesn't it? Nice jet black. Looks like coffee. Nice sort of like a tan head. Nice compact bubbles. It's got a nice aroma. Oh yeah. Sticky, slightly roasted yet sweet malts. Subtle hint of licorice in there. Dip your nose in for good luck as always. Oh, it's a big coffee hit in this. And I'm not just saying that because that's what we've just been talking about, but it's like those sort of like coffee chocolate sweets. Actually smells really good. Really, really does. I don't know if I've actually had 3-1 Everton. Get in, dear lads. I don't know if have I had Urban Shaker? Adam may have gave me a can of this, or like a crowler of it. I feel like I might have had this beer before. But yeah. Poundland Jesus, what are you drinking there, Bay? I'm drinking Carnival's Urban Shaker, which is an oatmeal stout, 4.5%. And then before that, I had a couple of beers from Newbarns. Had their Pilsner beer, and then their Oat Lager. Oat Lager just about tipped the balance for me, but both fantastic lagers. Hope you're doing well, Thomas, you sexy Poundland Jesus. And got another wonderful, beautiful man. And that is Paul from PA Brew News, who says, "Cheers, my lager loving lush lover. Kisses. Kisses right back, sir. Kisses right back." Goldrake, whichever Wilco ones would you try and what are they? It's just easy to follow the instructions and you make sure everything that the beer touches and cleans and sterilised. I want to get one of those pinter machines. Quite tempted by a pinter machine if it was on offer. It's just easy. Yeah, I've read that one. Sorry. That oat lager was delish. Did Adam send you a can of the oat lager? And doing pretty okay. How are you? I'm not doing too bad, Thomas. I hope you're doing okay too. Just gotta get on with things, I suppose. But thankfully, it's going to sound awful, but thankfully we have alcohol. Not that I'd ever have to depend on alcohol. I've tried the Georgie Lager, but I would buy 2 because it's a bit watery. Okay. So, that looks really nice, actually. It smells good. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, folks. It's one of those examples where it's got some really nice flavours. And yes, I know it's 4.5%, only 4.5%, but it feels a little bit thin, even for a 4.5%. Look, man, alcohol never solve life's problems, but they make it a bit more bearable at times. They do. They do. Sparingly, they do. But thankfully, I've never had to use this as a crutch, which I'm very thankful for. Because I have seen people who have fallen on hard times and turned to the bottle. It never ends well. And it's only a select few people who can pull themselves out of that. But yeah, sometimes it's more to unwind as opposed to a coping mechanism. This is really musky. It's roasted as hell to the point where there's like a bitter, savoury character. It's got like sort of like that tobacco cigar sort of element. I'm never that keen on the Belgian brewed beers from B52. Yeah, it's just, it seems like it's, I don't know why they've done it. I don't understand it. They've come so far over the past few years to the point where they can just get beers directly from breweries. But yeah, you always feel a little bit deflated when you've had one of the contract brewed beers. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's sort of like this bias or preconception that you have going into it, because I know that can sometimes affect my enjoyment of a beer. But I mean, it's nice. It's nice. It's got this sort of like espresso roast sort of flavour to it. The oats are coming through because you get that oatmeal porridgey sort of flavour. It's just the body's just a little bit. But I can't remember if the Urban Shake has the same body when it's brewed directly by Carnival. So I can't really, at this point, make that sort of like judgment. But I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit hyper aware that it's brewed at De Prof under contract. De Proof. Oh, yes, a hard thing to get back from. It certainly is. Will do, mate. Walk past the Wilco's every day, so I'll probably just pick one up. Sorry, Peter, for talking about brewing on your channel, matey. No, don't apologise, Steve. Don't apologise at all. Get a starter kit first, because buying all the equipment is a bit pricey. Yeah, I can imagine getting all the sort of like the tubs and the jars and the little thing that you put on the top that goes bloop, bloop, bloop. See, I'd have fun with that. I'd probably a bit. I'd just be like going into wherever I'm storing it, just watching it as it's like fermenting and bloop, bloop. Very easily amused. Might be the volume of beer that Beer 52D probably. But yeah, it's a fairly sort of mellow, rounded oatmeal stout. I've had much worse. I will say that. But I'd be interested to actually try a can directly from the brewery in hindsight. But it is what it is. But yeah, I think it's more down to me as opposed to the quality of the beer itself. But yeah, it's going to be a nice nightcap. There's a nice bitter chocolate flavour coming through. Although it is thin, those oats do add a like subtle, like almost creaminess to it. So it's like, you know, skimmed milk, which is obviously a little bit thicker than water. But yeah, not bad. Not bad. The more I'm drinking it, the more I'm enjoying it. Those initial few tastes were a little bit suspicious. I've still got the snacks from this month's box. The well and truly smoky paprika corn snacks, basically posh knickknacks. And then sesame grissini mini breadsticks. Would that go well with a oatmeal stout? Let's find out. Altogether Italian, made in Italy. I'm just thankful that it's not fucking olives. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, not a bad looking breadstick, that. Not bad. I think they need a dip, though. Nice flavour. Very nice flavour. Seems to bring out more of the roasty malt flavour. Don't think it's good food pairing, though. But hey-ho. So, how long I've been going? 1 hour 30, like a film. And Everton won 3-1, so happy days. So I think I'm going to call it here. Moral of the story is Newbarns are a really good brewery, and you should definitely check them out. Neighbours blasting right. Are you living next to Harry Meadows? Because he likes all that urban shit. Now, there are some good grime artists. Wouldn't be able to name you any, but I've heard some good grime music. But yeah, you don't really want grime at this time in night when it's not you listening to it. Because I can't think of anything more annoying than that. But yeah, I'm partial to a little bit of grime, I suppose. Said the whitest person ever. Not my cuppa. Rock and roll for me. Fair dues, sir. Fair dues. Anyway, folks, I'm going to end this stream here. Thank you all for joining. And thank you for anyone watching the playback as well. And of course, to the people keeping me entertained in the comments. Probably my favourite aspect of doing these live streams. I'm shattered, night, mate, and see my Insta story. Oh, I certainly will. I certainly will, sir. You have a good evening, Goldrake, and everyone else have a good evening. Cheers for watching. If you're in the UK, go check out Newbarns. You take care, Steve. Always good. I'll probably end up watching the rest of your stream after this. And yeah, anybody watching this, go check out everyone in the chat. It's probably going to be a bit harder for people watching the playback unless you can see the comments as they come through on the live stream. But yeah, go check out Steve's channel. Just an all-round decent guy, and good beer content, good vlogs. And are you going to be doing some game content, Steve? Okay, comment at the bottom. Nighty night all. Good night, Steve, Craig, Thomas, Brian, etc., etc. Cheers, Peter. Cheers, Brian. Thanks for watching. And yeah, you all take care. Stay safe. Have a good week. And I'll probably end up being part of a live stream at some point yet in the works. I'm looking forward to that. I want to get into gaming, but I don't have the patience to get it all set up. Anyway, cheers for watching, folks. You all take care. Stay safe. And go check out Newbarns. Awesome brewery. Awesome brewery. Thanks for watching.